I was the last man on earth, I would. If I was the last one with worth, I would. If I had the way to reverse, I would. If I was the last man on earth, I could. If I was the last man on earth, I would. If I was the last one with worth, I would. If I had the way to reverse, I would. If I was...
Welcome to the next episode of Bottom of the Bay. Today we got somebody that has been catching my attention in like the most different ways possible. I'm not quite sure what he does, but we're about to learn what he does today. Is it Carr?
It's Carr. It's ItsYaBoyCarr. It's your boy Carr. Like Derek Carr, not famous yet, but once you see this, you know it'll happen.
Welcome, man. So I've been seeing you all across my IG, man, and like you've been repping the Tank Shop, you've been putting up flyers, you've been promoting interviews. You also put a snippet out for music. Carr, is it your boy Carr?
You can just call me Carr, yeah.
I'm gonna just call you your boy Carr, man. I like that better. So what is it that you actually do?
So it all started from music. So I've been doing music since I was in high school. Always had a passion for music. I was playing guitar when I was a young kid. Then I read a lot of poetry. That evolved into putting that shit over a beat. And the person you see in front of you today is a culmination of years of putting my inner child away and pretending like I was going to be an adult. And luckily, that got me to the point where I had enough cash that I could start being a kid again. And what I mean by that is actually following my passions, my journey, and my dream, which is to always have been, has been to be, to make music. That's been the goal from the very start of all this shit. I've always written music. Even when I was in the military, I was spitting on like freestyles and doing all this shit. And I always knew that that was the shit that I wanted to do. But people in my life were telling me that that shit was unattainable. That shit wasn't real. You had to grow up and get a job, go to college, do this. So I was following everybody trying to find the path. I moved out to the Bay 3 years ago after my time in the military, and that's when it all started to kick off. So I was with my ex at the time who was hella telling me not to do music, and I was hella like, fuck this. So I left her, and then I moved on and started doing music. So last year, actually now it's almost 2 years ago, in 2021, I wrote my first EP, Year of the Ox.
Okay.
That's when it all got the ball rolling. I met Sean Muniz, who's the same person who directed Yonex Jones' video, Dumb Bums. So that's kind of how that connection made. And from that point on, when I shot my first music video and I finally had something to look at, and it was trash as fuck because I was recording on a USB mic and a laptop. Like, we really did it with nothing. But then I realized I got to get to work. I got to stack bread. So I worked 2 jobs. I was working 80-hour work weeks. I said a lot about that shit in my music because for the summer of 2021 and into the winter, I was just stacking bread. I saved over $10K in side money that I had put aside. That's how I paid for the video. I had everything, man. We had done it big, except I didn't get in the studio.
Let me stop you there before you just keep rolling. So let's take a half a step back because you're giving me a lot at once. Where you from and what high school you go to?
So where I'm from a small town called New Bedford, Massachusetts, about an hour south of Boston. And the high school that I went to is New Bedford High School.
How do you pronounce it? New Bedford?
New Bedford, yeah.
And then you said Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
That's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing over here?
So pretty much when I was 18 years old, I was in college trying to figure it out. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I joined the military. And that brought me all around the world. Ended up in the Bay Area after 4 years in the military.
Okay. So what year was it when you came to the Bay?
2019.
Oh, so this was fairly like recent. Although it's kind of like vet status a little bit. All right, I like that. So the music. Where does the inspiration come from, and what type of music do you do?
The inspiration comes from everything that I grew up listening to. So I grew up listening to obviously mainly Eminem, Mac Miller, Kid Cudi back in the day. Mm-hmm. Those are like my early on influences. As it evolved, I started listening to more Nipsey Hussle, J. Cole, and Lil Wayne. I'd probably say that I moved into that genre into high school. So those are some of my early influences as far as like in hip hop and what I grew up around. And then why music, why all this sudden shift? I just always had a vision for it, man. I always knew that I was good. My friends told me that I was good behind the mic. My family was telling me I was good behind the mic. And I just always knew I had a passion for actually putting this shit out there. And it finally came to fruition. Do you write your
rhymes? I mean, I'm sorry. Do you only make, like, are you only a rapper or do you make beats as well? Or
Yeah, no, I'm just a rapper, man. I try to make beats. That should tell a hard shout out to all the producers out there, man. I would say my skill set is more so event promotion, rap, sales.
Well, let's
all
keep
that
it on
shit.
rap right now. So you said that you don't make beats. What type of beat style would you say is your choice? You being from Massachusetts, being on the West Coast, I know it's gonna be.
It's completely different. Yeah, actually, I moved out here and had to learn some because the hyphy movement and all that, and the way that the beats are done and the way that the flows are, it's completely different from the way we did shit in the East Coast. In the East Coast, it's all like boom bap, it's 90s, it's like real from the
Shit's
soul.
fire though.
Yeah, no, it is fire, and a lot of it is that's a lot of my inspiration is those boom bap 90s rap beats. I think that's like what I gravitate towards to freestyle and kick it. And then over the time, I've kind of evolved into just doing kind of tight beats, and then now I'm trying to move into actually getting a producer. But I'd say like Mac Miller type beats, J. Cole type beats. I'm more of a storyteller in my rhymes. I don't really have much to say other than the life that I live, so that's what I try to portray through my music. So typically, it's a kickback vibe. Some of my tracks, like on my album, I've got Pablo and I've got Homecoming. Those are two like hyphy beats, like boom, boom, like loud beats, but nothing West Coast influence yet. I'd say the newest stuff that I got with Jan is probably the most Bay Area that I have out right now. The most like Bay thumpers that I got. Right now, it's just me. It's just Carr. It's just what I've been doing for a while now.
I like that. So you say you're an event promoter. Let's get into that.
Yeah, so shit. I mean, the way it all started really is we got screwed over in December last year. Promoter was doing a show at the shop. I had just gotten involved with the shop around October, but Jan was, gave me a performance slot on this show, and the day of the promoter canceled. The promoter did not pay the deposit, so I called up Jan. I said, "What happened?" And he told me. So I just dropped the money on the deposit and we ran the show anyway. And then I realized in that moment, I already know all the local rappers. They all come here. I know all the local DJs. I know all the local stuff that's going on. And then the Tank Shop is the hub of hip hop. I mean, this place right here, you're not going to find anything like this. There's no open mics like this. There's no shows like the ones we do. We get real love and we have real fans. Like when I started fucking with Tank shit and started fucking with all this, that's when the fans started coming because we have real people that really support, that really want to see us shine. So
How
with
long
that
has
being
it been
said,
since you've been messing with Jan? May I interject real quick?
no, you're good. Last October. So okay. I started coming around here October. I found one of the Pokemon cards in the middle of the wild. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm over here at the open mic. And
6 months.
And from then on, I just kind of started trying to give my piece. I told Jan from the very start, I was like, I want to be a part of this. How can I add value here? So it started with me actually hosting the open mic with Noah. Noah had approached me and let me know, hey, bro, if you could just get on stage and do the music part, that'd be sick. I was like, for sure. So I was like super stoked to get into that. And then, like I said, the show had gotten canceled. We ran the show and I realized, I said, Jan, we could just run shows out of the shop, but they're not shows. They're showcases, and we're just expressing talent. But the way that it changes the game is we give you a receipt. So a lot of promoters are trying to make money off this stuff. This is their full-time job. For sure, we're all about it. But they're not transparent about the reason why they're charging you. They might charge an artist $240, they might charge you $120 because you're the homie or whatever the case may be. So we wanted to make sure across the board, our artists are going to pay straight up what we ask them to pay, and they're going to see why. Cost of the venue, cost of the DJ, cost of making the flyers, cost of everything that we do to run the event.
Detailing the whole thing, like you printing this out so they can see it too, or you having conversations with them about it?
No, it's a full flyer. So the same flyer that you see is that we get a cost sheet breakdown as well. And what's funny about it is most people are just like, so what's the deposit? Even though it's right there. But at least it puts the power back in the artist's hands. It lets them see what they're paying for, because in reality, like with the smoke and mirrors of the music industry and the way shit goes, people are getting taken advantage of daily because they're hoping that they're going to make this fucking thing. We're transparent as fuck. We're an underground-ass hip-hop group, but hey, we make it fucking shine. Bring your friends, bring your fans. We're going to shoot you in 4K. We're going to get you shining. We're going to get you that stage time that you need, that practice that you need. So when you do pay $300, $400 for a show, you're ready to rock out with your fucking shit out. You're going to have your mixtapes ready. You're going to have your merch. Everything can be done here at the Tank Shop. So that's the goal, right? That's the vision. We want to breed just absolute success in the industry and bring people from that vision of, this is unattainable, I can't be a rapper, to everything I need to be a rapper starts here. Like this is like training day, So it's like boot camp.
I like that. That's what's up, man. So did I hear you say you do design as well?
Yeah, so on the side I do the graphic design, right? So all the flyers that you see for the Tank Shop, for the Captain Save show, all that stuff's done on my computer. I designed all the stickers and everything for my upcoming album, and I also designed the album art. So I can do all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest, but I'm the latest, and I'm about to be one of the greatest for sure. I study a lot of this stuff. I like to edit and make stuff. One of my songs, Prodigy, I have a music video up for it now. It was shot and edited by me on my iPhone with my friends. So I like to get creative on the back end space too. I have a little bit of a knack for that as well, and I like to use that to my advantage, to my art.
What's your ethnicity, bro?
So I'm white, for sure. My dad's side, on my
Who
dad's
said I'm white?
right. On my dad's side, I'm Italian and Irish. So my grandfather is second generation Irish, and same thing with my grandmother, second generation Italian. And then on my mom's side, no fucking clue. They are all over the place as far as who they are. So just general Caucasian. But yeah, but mainly I would say Italian is how I grew up. On my dad's side of the family, big Italian family, home cooked meals, the whole nine.
Okay. So if you rapped, went to the military, now you're out here in Cali. When did you find time to learn how to like do design and
Mm.
the artistic side of what you do?
I think I've always done it. I was always big on art, like drawing and everything like that. And then with the photo edits, that kind of just came naturally too. I would have to say my biggest inspiration for even getting involved in that stuff is my mom. So my mom, raising us three kids. I have two other brothers. Shout out mom, shout out James, shout out Sean. Mama, we made it. But check it out. So yeah, she was a photographer, right? Stay-at-home mom for her whole life. Didn't really do anything besides take care of us as kids. Picks up a camera, teaches herself Photoshop, and within the next 5 to 10 years, my mom owned her own business, her own studio in downtown where I live. And she was a professional photographer making all the money. She was raising three kids off of the money that she was making.
You learned this from your mom?
I would say I was inspired by my mom. I watched my mom do it. I watched my mom do this for a
when
long
you were
time.
a kid.
Yeah.
Before you started doing music.
For sure.
Before you went to the military.
Yeah, she's before any of this happened. My mom is for sure the cornerstone of everything.
Wow.
I would say, as far as me as a creative, as a person, if it wasn't for that woman in my life, like I wouldn't believe that there's anything outside of working a 9 to 5 and doing that shit. Like she's the one. Like my mom for real is the whole reason that I'm even the person that I am today, for sure. And
that blew my mind, dog. That's tight. You might need to go ahead and, give her a little bit more credit and talk about she inspired me, dog. You got it from moms, man. That's in your blood, obviously, bro. If you can go ahead and look at you, take it to the next level.
Yeah. Shout out, mom, man. Fuck. That's the real reason we're here, for real. No, yeah. Yeah, she owned her own photography business, man, and she was always working, always working. But she edited photos, took photos. So I kind of saw that growing up, and I've always had a knack for photography too, like on my phone. And then I was like, I want to make my pictures look cooler. So then I just started getting on YouTube. That's the secret behind all that stuff too. There's a lot of free information out there. If you're willing to stick through it and really do your homework, you can learn a lot of the stuff that we do here. Everything's attainable now in the information day and age of having phones and shit. That's where I'm pretty much self-taught with all the shit that I do.
So you do hostings as well. Is that something that you want to continue doing, or is it like a side gig?
I don't know, man. I really, it's hard to say right now. I'm in a weird position in life where I still have a 9 to 5, but every time I clock out of my 9 to 5, I clock into this one. So the way I see it, this is going to become my 9 to 5. And regardless of if it's rap or if I'm better in behind the scenes, I guess time will tell. People will tell me where I belong most, I feel like. Right. I find that I've met creatives in the space. That they started off being rappers, they started off being celebrities, and then they wanted to actually turn around and be the owner of a studio, or they wanted to be the person behind the camera. I actually know a person who's a rapper who now takes photos. So who knows? The path to creativity and what makes us shine, I think, varies, and I think it also depends on cash flow. What I do know is this: I got something fucking special, and I know I got something special because I sold 200 copies of this album in its first week alone. It is not even available on streaming, and it's on a fucking physical CD. So if I didn't have something special, I don't think 200 random people would even bother with me. So that's where my confidence comes from, and that confidence comes from my mom, but it also comes from Jan. So shout out to Jan X Jones, man. Shout out to TANKSHOP for real, because without this space, without this cultivation of people, I wouldn't have seen the level of success in my first week of my album that I have.
So, Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Man, break that down for me, dog.
All right. Cartoon Network. Fuck. So, 12-track album, studio produced at Studio X. Shout out Studio X. Shout out Karina. Shout out Zuko.
Oh, Karina producer for you?
Well, Karina's studio. Zuko Ali produced it. Engineered it for me. Excuse me. Let me run that back. Cartoon Network, man, was recorded over at Studio X in Oakland. Shout out Studio X, shout out Karina Music. Zuko Ali is actually the person who engineered it, but just had to shout out Karina as well because the whole vibe. And I've been rocking with Studio X since October. I go to their first Friday events, some of their jam sessions, and all the stuff that they're doing over there is dope. And it's the reason that I actually even started my album was I met Zuko off of one session, and we kind of just hit it off, and I was like, I need you to just do 12 songs for me. So I put a lot of my own money into it, and I I believed in it. It was the first couple tracks that I did. When I started to hear that shit back, I was like, oh, I sound like a real rapper right now. Like before, I sound like a kid in his living room playing with toys. This time, I sound like I'm really trying to do it. And I was like, damn. And if I really do it, and if I really, really do it, what's gonna stop me from really being the person that I am? So yeah, man, Cartoon Network, it's a game changer. It's the first time that I've had a real project release. It's the second time I'll be doing a release party. Those who know me know that I had my release party for Year of the Ox last year in December. So shout out to the homies on the East Coast that celebrated that with me. But now I got all my homies on the West Coast, luckily here to celebrate my first ever real project release. And shout out TANKSHOP, shout out Yonex. It's available here at the Tank Shop and with me everywhere, and at the TANKSHOP box truck. You can get your sticker packs with it too. We sold over 200 copies in the first week of its release. Before it's even hit streaming. It's going to hit streaming next month in April. So if you guys want to check it out, there'll be a release party April 14th here at the Tank Shop, 1530 Allen Rock, 6 to 10 p.m. We'll be doing a listening party. I'll be performing it live. So yeah, if you guys want to come by, anybody who has a CD gets into the party for free. You feel me? So it's kind of like a little entry. But yeah, so
I like how you accommodate like the people who are supporters or fans and stuff too. It's not like you trying to make a money grab or you trying to be like some scum type of person. Like you always kind of got everybody's pockets in your interest, man. So that's what's up, bro. I think that's like your whole little vibe is different. Like I can tell you're not from here, but like I can tell you've been around some people from here. That's cool, man. So what's something you think you can improve on?
What can we improve on, man? I mean, fuck. As an
No,
artist,
I'm talking about you personally. Like, what's something you think you can improve on as an artist, or as a rapper, or as a host, or as a businessman, or just in your everyday life?
it's crazy. I mean, I feel like beyond the shit, beyond work and everything, what I could improve on, what I could really like change about myself, um, is to just protect my energy. I feel like the hardest part about doing the shit that I'm doing right now is that I am so close to it that every person that walks in these doors at this shop, every person that comes across my life in this music shit and supports me, like you're talking about, I'm there for my supporters. Of course I am. I would have gave this for free if Yonex didn't tell me to sell it for 10. I didn't think anybody would ever put $1 towards my name and the shit that I'm doing. So I think the hardest part about that is having to step up for that group of people that is supporting you, right? So when you start to have fans, you start to have people that actually want to see you shine, and they're like, Carr, what are you doing? Get your shit together, right? And so not to get emotionally attached to that and get, I guess, blindsided by it. I mean, it's really easy to get blindsided by clout and shit that comes around and people making noise around you and giving you buzz, and you could fall off doing that, right? We've seen a lot of people who are great at what they do, but they fall off because there's that immense pressure. So just trying to stay in my lane as much as possible. Like you said, I sound like I'm not from here. I want to continue to sound like I'm not from here. I don't want to be a culture vulture. I don't want to be a transplant. I don't want to be, it's Carr and I'm from the Bay Area and that's it and that's all. No, I'm from Boston, man. I'm not really from here, but I found love out here, and San Jose has been showing me love and has been helping me push my shit and has been extremely supportive of me. So I call this my second home for real. But what I could work on is just being more of me and just trying to stay in my lane, and just keeping focused on the mission.
So protecting your energy and keeping focus. I like those two answers, man. So the last thing I want to touch on that you spoke about was the military. Why'd you enroll into the military?
Why does anybody, right? We were trying to make some money.
Money, a charger,
no charger. Didn't have the charger.
Problems.
Yeah, definitely had those. Yeah, man, I joined because, man, I got out of high school. I'm going to community college, and I'm working the 9 to 5 to fund college. And I see my friend come back from the Marines, and he's got bread, and he's got a car, and he's going all these places. I'm like, I'm trying to go. So I went to the recruiting office. If you had met me before the military, you would know for sure. You're like, this fool's not joining. Little scrawny ass kid. Fuck war. Fuck the government. That shit's trash. All that, right? Hella liberal. Just like, fuck it all. And I honestly, fuck that shit. But I wanted to better my life. I wanted to do something. And I felt like I was doing nothing all at once. I was looking around, my friends were selling dope, dying from dope, talking about gangbanging for hoods that don't fucking matter, that nobody in the world knows of. You heard it here first. Yeah, in New Bedford, right? So when I tell people about New Bedford, now that I moved out of my hometown, everyone doesn't know where that is. They don't know who's who. They don't know what's going on. But when you live in a situation like that, similar to any other hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody only sees this bubble, and nobody's trying to get out of it. Nobody's trying to break through. Everybody's just trying to do the same shit that they seen their homies do, and the same shit that got them killed. So I'm like, there's no way out unless I leave. So pretty much I wanted to get as far away from there as possible. So I joined the Navy. So I go to Chicago, go to boot camp, do the whole thing, boom, boom, boom. To give it to you lightly, I was in Chicago or Great Lakes. Then I lived in San Diego. Then I was stationed in Hawaii. And then I've been to 5 other countries. So I went on my first deployment in 2017. I went to Guam, Bahrain, Dubai, the Philippines, Singapore. Yeah, 5. So that's the ones that I've been to. The experience as a whole, it changed me. It changed me for the better. It changed me for worse. I drank a lot and I smoked a lot, but I learned discipline. I learned no matter what the fuck happens to you the night before, you got to be there at 6, right? Yeah. So you're going to show up on time. You're going to be looking good. You're going to have a clean shave, all that. So I learned perception is reality. I'll say that's the number one lesson I learned. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It matters the people above you, whatever role you're in, whether that's a 9-to-5, music, you need to make the people above you believe that you're the hardest out the pack. There's a whole pack of people, and they're all fucking busting ass, and they're all trying really hard. But if the person above you doesn't see you doing it, it doesn't mean shit. You're going to get the same shit next year, and you're not going to advance. And it's weird, right? But that's the biggest lesson I learned. Perception is reality. So what I learned is that you got to do the work, but you got to make the connections too, and it's all got to line up. So it taught me a lot about how to be successful, because in the corporate world, right, for example, I've been able to make myself into a manager. Mm-hmm. How did I do that? I talked my way and I worked my way. So I did the physical work, but you also got to use that mouthpiece too. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, you get up in this game. You know what I mean? Type shit. So
never heard that, but that was kind of slick though.
It's true. It's true. People don't know what you want until you declare what you want, pretty much, is what I learned. So you can be the hardest worker in the room. Like I said, you can know everything about your job. You can be that guy. Oh, we always go to Alex for that shit, or whatever the case is, right? But if you're not, there's politics in this shit too. It's also a popularity contest. School taught us that. Every institution will teach you that. It's not really about the hard work. Even in the music industry, there's people that are underground to this day. They're rapping their ass off. They're like, oh, I'm the fucking greatest, and they're fucking going. But they're not marketing themselves right, and they're not getting in front of enough people, and their sound isn't resonating with enough people to get them to the top. Mm-hmm. So that's what I learned out of the military. But overall, great experience. Went all over the world, made lifelong friends. A lot of my homies that were in with me actually bought my tape. I'm shipping it out to them. Some of them bought the hoodie and everything. So shout out to those that supported, man. I get DMs every day, actually, from people that I was in the military with. You always rapping on the smoke deck. Now you're fucking making it, bro. You're fucking lit. I'm like, yeah, appreciate it. You know, like, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's been a long fucking journey. I'm only 25 years old, so I'm still young, still trying to get it. Yeah. But hopefully it all come together. All the lessons that I'm learning, I'm just trying to be a sponge right now, taking everything that I can, all the game that I can, and flip it on its head and fucking go up. You know, that's what we're trying to do.
You'll be all right, big dog. The bay ain't gonna eat you up and swallow you up, man. So that about wraps this interview up for Bottom of the Bay. You want to give everybody your social so they know where to find you at?
Yeah. At It's Your Boy Carr, ItsYaBoy Carr. It's Your Boy Carr. You can find me there at Instagram. Everywhere, man. Snapchat, Facebook, everywhere is It's Your Boy Carr. You can buy a copy of Cartoon Network here at the Tank Shop. $10 for the CD, $12 for the sticker pack included, if you want to show support and show love. With that being said, man, thank you so much for having me, Bottom of the Bay. Appreciate everybody for listening and checking out this interview. Thank you.
Yo, so I told Jan, man, when I asked him about you, I said, bro, that guy, your boy Carr, is bringing up a new energy around the shop and stuff, man, and just meeting you and seeing that this is genuine. And like you said, you just show up, clean shave, and like, everything kind of makes sense now, bro. Like, you got all your ducks in a row. Don't let nobody discourage you, and keep on going. Until the meantime, peace, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
They can't see the elephant in the room, stuck in the bottom of the bay with no life jacket.